Breaking news, the Department of Homeland Security has just confirmed to CNN that federal law enforcement agents have raided properties owned by musician and producer Sean Diddy Combs.
And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs. More than 1,000 bottles altogether.
So we all know Diddy's Miami and LA mansions got raided, and the internet had a field day with his stash of baby oil. But did anyone tell you about the hidden tunnel under his house? Today we're breaking down every single thing found in Diddy's homes. And wait till you hear about the new theory that it's not Diddy, but his mom who's been calling the shots all along.
So these items were collected during the federal raids, including narcotics and hundreds of bottles of lube and baby oil.
First, we've got firearms galore. The agents reportedly confiscated 3 AR-15 rifles. And these weren't just casually lying around. They had their serial numbers scratched off. Now, if you're unfamiliar, that's a big red flag in the firearms world. A scratched off serial number typically means someone doesn't want those guns traced back to them. Now, an AR-15 isn't your typical home defense weapon. This is military grade firepower. This is a weapon you'd expect to see with someone who's prepping for more than just a potential break-in. Think more along the lines of someone who is actively hanging with a dangerous crowd. Now, why would Diddy of all people have these? It's not like he's out here running some cartel, or at least we hope he is not, but given the other allegations surrounding him, everything finally adds up. Remember, Cassie also claimed that Diddy allegedly forced her to carry firearms around in her purse. Her court document says, on at least 2 occasions, Mr. Combs demanded that Ms. Ventura hold Mr. Combs' gun in her purse. Ms. Ventura had no familiarity with guns and was petrified that the firearm would accidentally go off in her purse. There was no clear reason why Mr. Combs required her to hold his guns except to reinforce to his young girlfriend that he was violent, powerful, and dangerous. Cassie started dating this man at 19. Imagine having to carry weapons for your man when you're barely a child yourself. This isn't the first time Diddy has been accused of having weapons. In 1999, Sean Diddy Combs was accused of criminal possession of a weapon after a shooting at a New York nightclub.
That it was P. Diddy who shot you.
I was standing by the front door. I watched the entire thing out. I had no reason to believe that it would escalate to a shooting. It was just male machismo and bravado at first.
Witnesses told law enforcement that they saw Diddy with a firearm at the club, but guess what? He didn't get charged with anything. His protege at that time, Moses Shine Barrow, who was also at the club with him, got sent to jail for 9 years. Since Diddy was arrested in 2024, Moses has admitted that he was framed.
And he turned around and called witnesses to testify against me, and he contributed. He pretty much sent me to prison.
Now, nothing has been confirmed regarding the 1999 case, but this just goes to show that for decades, Diddy's name has been connected to the illegal use of firearms. Having a stash of AR-15s brings some serious heat, as it raises questions about why he'd want untraceable weapons. Was he stockpiling them for security, intimidation, or something a little more underground? We'll probably find out during his trial. Let's talk about this tunnel business.
Well, the Diddy news is not going to stop because a tunnel was also found in Diddy's home. Yes, you heard that correct. Diddy has a dungeon.
This rumor first gained traction on social media, with fans imagining a hidden passage connecting Diddy's Holmby Hills estate directly to the Playboy Mansion. The speculation was fueled by images claiming to show a network of tunnels, but these were reportedly manipulated and have been debunked by many sources. However, some people have mentioned that Diddy's home had secret rooms, not tunnels. Apparently, some parties were disguises for freak-offs. While guests were busy enjoying the tame version, freak-offs were happening in secret rooms. Next, we'll dive into the substances found in Diddy's home. Oh, and there's a lot. When investigators raided his homes, they reportedly found an impressive variety of substances, and they suspect that he had the intent to distribute them. The indictment mentions a whole lot of substances that are hard to pronounce. Authorities believe these were used to keep victims subdued during the freak-offs. The indictment also mentions that during freak-offs, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. I mean, this is in line with claims from multiple women who have stated they were given substances without their knowledge. Apparently, Diddy would spike drinks and meals at his freak-off, so even if you rejected all of the controlled substances that were openly available at the party, your drink could get you knocked out.
To the party, was given one drink and doesn't remember anything else. Ultimately, was so messed up, went to the hospital.
These parties were as wild as you can imagine, but even victims who were not abused in freak-offs claimed that they were given substances to weaken them. It would seem like Diddy really couldn't do without having a stash not just for other people, but also for himself as well. Suge Knight recently mentioned that Diddy may be going through withdrawals in jail because he no longer has access to his stash anymore.
He probably going through a lot of right now because he probably going through a lot of withdrawals for the but the industry got him on drugs.
Let's not forget that when Diddy was arrested in a Manhattan hotel on September 16th, authorities found him with bags of pink powder presumed to be narcotics. Knowing he was facing serious legal trouble, yet still keeping a stash, suggests that this man could be a serious addict. It's a situation where the need for substances was more important than anything else, even the possibility of being charged with possession. It speaks volumes about his personal struggles with addiction, and this could be why he wanted people around him to be intoxicated as well. Now, let's get into the most popular item found in Diddy's mansion: baby oil and lubricants.
Huh, nice, the last one.
Around 1,000 bottles of baby oil were found in Diddy's home because apparently Diddy loves using baby oil to spice things up in bed. This information blew up on the internet because people were wondering, why on earth would anyone need that much baby oil?
When I did use baby oil, a bottle would last me at least 4 months.
According to insiders, the baby oil was one of the essentials of Diddy's infamous freak-offs, with staff responsible for making sure every bottle was stocked and ready. The baby oil was allegedly used in ways we can only imagine, or perhaps don't want to imagine, at these parties. Diddy's lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, tried to brush off the baby oil bonanza, claiming he can't imagine its thousands and joking about how one bottle of baby oil goes a long way. He even suggested that Diddy might just be a bulk buyer because, you know, Costco exists and all.
How do you explain the baby oil and the lubricants? 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
I don't think it was 1,000. I think it was a lot. I mean, there's a Costco right down the street. You know, I think Americans buy in bulk, as we know. And you know, this is consensual adults doing what consensual adults do.
Mark is trying to make sure he's worth every penny that Diddy pays. But honestly, 1,000 bottles? That's a lot of slip and slide action, even for a guy known for his extravagant parties. Now, let's get real for a second. The sheer volume of baby oil raises eyebrows, like what exactly was he planning? Given the context of the ongoing legal battles, one can't help but speculate. Was this for personal use in some bizarre ritual? Adding to the intrigue is the fact that people think that even the baby oil was laced with substances as well.
So that's telling people that it wasn't baby oil. And people think that that was baby oil, they out their mind. I don't believe it was baby oil.
Diddy's gatherings allegedly involved a lot of substance abuse, which makes the theory more believable. It's not a stretch to assume that to get guests even more intoxicated, the baby oil could be laced. But here's the kicker. Many people have claimed they were at those parties. So you've got to ask yourself, was Diddy just using that baby oil for some extra slick moves? Or was he possibly lacing it with something else? I mean, it's not too far-fetched to think of spiked baby oil as a possibility. That's a level of deviousness that takes party planning to a whole new level. But with the new allegations coming out regarding these freak-offs, it's definitely a possibility. Now here's where things get a bit darker. Alongside the baby oil, substances, and weapons, videotapes allegedly documenting these freak-offs were found in Diddy's mansion.
One particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before.
The content of these tapes, of course, remains under wraps. but they are said to capture the activities that went on during these parties. So anyone who has attended a freak-off may soon get dragged into this case, especially if they show up on more than one tape. What's more shocking is the claim that these videos might have been used by Diddy himself to keep guests in check, essentially as a form of blackmail. It's one thing to have a wild party, but recording it and potentially using it against attendees, that's a serious power play. People believe that he was able to gain power in Hollywood this way, and that's why there are some cases dating back to over 20 years ago. No one wanted to go after Diddy because he had something on them. So for less powerful attendees, he would intoxicate them to remain obedient, but for powerful people, he would record them so they would keep quiet or even pay him. To support the claims that these tapes exist, a court witness has admitted that he has seen 11 tapes featuring 8 different celebrities with Diddy, and it turns out that some were underage at the time these tapes were shot.
Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
So what's your take on all this? Is Diddy's family suspicious, or do you think they're innocent? What about the alleged prison phone calls and code words? What could they really be about? Now let's get into this Diddy tape team. This time, it's someone close to Diddy's ex-wife, Kim Porter, who is taking the witness stand. Courtney Burgess, the man stepping up to the plate as a witness, is coming with some wild accusations about Diddy. And according to him, there are videos to prove what he is saying is true. Here's the gist. Burgess, who's said to be a former associate of Kim Porter, has come forward claiming he's sitting on 11 flash drives filled with Diddy's explicit videos with 8 other celebrities who were Diddy's victims. Not only that, but he claims that these videos feature 2 or 3 underage victims who were intoxicated, which takes this situation from scandalous to downright alarming. And then, just to throw more gas on the fire, he mentions having an unedited copy of Kim Porter's personal diary, which could reveal even more dirt on Diddy. The drama thickened when Burgess was subpoenaed by Homeland Security and brought in front of a grand jury, where he laid it all out. Apparently, they wanted to see if this new witness could bring anything solid to the table. His attorney, Ariel Mitchell, confirmed that he shared details about these tapes, and that this wasn't just idle chatter. He was under legal obligation to speak. So, whether this is a play for the spotlight or Burgess really has those receipts, it's clear he's making big claims. He's been interviewed and has revealed as much as he could about these tapes.
He didn't get this from his daddy. You gotta realize, man, you know, his mother had a modeling agency, and it was alleged that it was also Ladies of the Night, a prostitute too.
Without giving anything away. Unfortunately, we still don't know the identities of the celebrities involved, but maybe it will be revealed when the trial starts. If this story sounds like a fever dream, trust me, you're not alone. The internet's buzzing, Hollywood insiders are speculating, and everyone's waiting to see if Burgess is for real or just another piece of this wild puzzle. Then there's that diary. Now, Kim Porter's supposed memoir has a complex history. Apparently, it was meant for release but got pulled from Amazon, with Diddy and Porter's kids claiming it's fake. Burgess, though, says his version is authentic, uncut, and includes details her family doesn't want the world to know.
I don't know how many dudes do kiss their mother in their mouth when they 50, 60 years old or something like that. That's them, that's their whole thing, man, but that was a little kind of weird for me.
I mean, who kisses their mom on the lips when they're over 50? It's definitely weird. There's been talk that she helped cover up or downplay some of his more questionable activities. Whether it was shielding him from criticism or even actively joining in on the lavish parties, she was rumored to be right there. It doesn't help that she recently issued a public statement defending Diddy. In this statement, Janice criticized what she calls a public lynching of her son, who, according to her, is being unfairly judged on a narrative created out of lies. She didn't claim he was perfect, but emphasized that he deserved to have his side heard before being judged by the public. The public was not exactly buying her call for sympathy because she ruled the Cassie abuse as a past mistake, and it did not feel like enough criticism of her son's actions.
And yeah, he not a monster, she is. But I don't want to go down. But she is. She's a monster. Everything in her name. She's the monster. She created that, and y'all gonna see on that Netflix.
Rumor has it that Janice helped smooth over problems in the relationship with that motherly boys will be boys attitude. But let's be real, Diddy and Cassie were together for 11 years. You mean to tell me that Janice, who's closer to Diddy than most, didn't notice anything if there was abuse going on? It's hard to believe that someone so close to her son wouldn't see the cracks in that relationship, especially if things got as serious as Cassie has alleged. What do you think about Diddy's mom? So we've taken a deep dive into the troubling discoveries from Diddy's mansion raid, from baby oils to enough surveillance tech to rival a reality show setup. And let's not forget those AR-15s and the mysterious stash of substances adding even more fuel to the fire. This investigation might finally bring some of those secrets to light. And if what's been found so far is any indication, there's likely a lot more to uncover. The real question now is, as Diddy faces these legal battles, will his empire stand? Or is this the beginning of an epic downfall? Let's hear your theories in the comments below.